As I got another rhyme, another rhythm for y'all to listen. I'm never quitting on my mission, I'ma roll with what I'm giving. Got some ambition, this new edition, filling positions. Looking at the void in myself and feeling what's missing. Better watch the way you going, better go in the right direction. In the moment you stressing, but you gon' be counting blessings. And I know that for certain, keep on working, open curtains. Haters swerving, cause they ain't ready for your final version. Whoa. I'm never gonna give up, fall down, I just gotta get up, yeah. Cause this is my road. Let's camera action.
You're listening to the Tom Ficklin Show on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Gary Tinney, and I'm sitting in for Tom Ficklin. This is a Tom Ficklin Show. Today's guest, we have Executive Director Shirley Ellis West from the Urban Community Alliance. Good morning, Shirley.
Good morning, Gary. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for participating in today's show. So she'll introduce herself and tell you a little bit about their program and their agency and the great work that they're doing in the community.
Right. So, as Gary said, I'm Shirley Ellis West. I'm the Executive Director for what is currently known as Urban Community Alliance. Urban Community Alliance is the coming together of two nonprofit organizations about 5 years ago, and one of those organizations was the New Haven Family Alliance, which had a good history of almost about 3 decades of providing support to children, youth, and families in the community. And I have been blessed to be a part of the New Haven Family Alliance, as well as the newly rebranded organization, Urban Community Alliance. So under the New Haven Family Alliance and the leadership of Barbara Tinney, I was well suited for transitioning and the rebranding of this organization. I was well suited for the leadership of the organization, and I am happy to say that this is where I sit today, being rooted and founded and grounded, and all that was poured into me as a case manager and a longtime employee of the New Haven Family Alliance. So today we'll talk about Urban Community Alliance. Urban Community Alliance was two nonprofit organizations coming together, New Haven Family Alliance, and an organization that was owned and operated by Dr. Maisa Akbar, the Veterans Mentoring Program. And so this program was designed to support honorably discharged military vets, to give them an opportunity to not only be paid, but to give back to the community in the form of mentoring some of our most challenged young people in the community that historically were judicially involved or on their way to being judicially involved. And so the Vets Mentoring Program is now a program under the umbrella. We're all under the same umbrella of Urban Community Alliance.
So, Ms. West, one question I'd like to ask: how, if someone wanted to get involved and participate and assist with that program, how would they go about?
With the Vets Mentoring Program, or
with the Vets Mentoring
so
program.
if someone was interested, first of all, they are paid positions, and based on funding and programmatic and programs, we would hire a vet to serve a young person anywhere in the state if the funding supported that. For example, when we first merged together, the funding came from CSSD, which is a state system with oversight over judicially involved youth and young adults. So that because it was a statewide program, we could hire a vet to work anywhere in the state, Bridgeport, Hartford, New London, wherever that youth was located, we could hire a vet to do that. Today, we are no longer we are no longer able to expand the program out in that way, but I continue to look for funding to get back to that because that was the original model and it was a great model. So vets would just apply for a job, and I do have 2 positions currently to hire 2 vets. So the vet would apply for a job. We would interview and clear the vet for the work because this is work with young people. So naturally, there are some things that we have to be able to do to make sure that we're not putting the organization, the youth, or the vet at risk for making these relationships. And once that happened, Gary, we would hire the vet. The vet would work part-time, up to 20 hours a week with that young person or within the program. And this is simple as just applying for a job as you would, for any other job at the organization.
Wow, that's amazing. You talk about utilizing our vets to do a great, to become that mentor, that important person in the lives of our community. I think that's a great opportunity, and that's you talk about outreach, and that's some great work. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm sorry, and I agree that it's a great opportunity, but it's been really challenging to identify vets and have vets apply for the positions when we have them available. And so we go to colleges, we go to universities, we go to the Veterans Administration, we go wherever we can we use the networking of the vets that we employ, but it's been a little bit challenging to get vets to show up and apply for these jobs. So, but it is a great opportunity, and for who veterans are and some of the things that they were trained to do, these young people and it's of great value to the young people in the community. Young people could really benefit from who our veterans are and what they have to give to these young people. So thank you.
Yeah, well, you're welcome. I'm definitely gonna do my due diligence to reach out to some folks and try to identify some individuals to participate in that
Thank you.
Yeah. So, another question I had. I know you're doing. You have a male involvement network. One of your.
So our male involvement network is our fatherhood work, and we have about for at least almost three decades supported fathers in the city of New Haven and Greater New Haven in managing child support in managing their child support obligations and reconnecting them back into their families where relationships might have been severed or relationships might have not been as healthy as they need to be for families and dads or children and dads. And so we continue to do that work as well. Dads will come to the organization and they quite often will need a great deal more support in either housing or with employment or just basic needs. I mean, and so once they show up, we most certainly will support them in wherever their needs might be. In addition to that, we are able to take them through a curriculum that we call 24/7 Dads, which really helps. It's a group process which that do several things. It puts them in an environment where they're able to engage with other dads, but it also gives them information and help them bring greater awareness around some of the things that they may not understand about parenting, and and what constitutes a healthy relationship, so on and so forth. And so yes, we have operated that program for almost 3 decades in the city of New Haven.
Wow. And how long has your program, including New Haven Family Alliance, how long have you guys been around?
So we have been Urban Community Alliance for so this will be the 5th year of implementation, but New Haven Family Alliance was established in 1992. So New Haven Family Alliance literally had a history in the city of over 3 decades, 30
Wow.
years. I know because I was part of that 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And fortunately, again, you had mentioned my sister, Barbara Tinney, and
Yeah.
the passion and the dedication she had. And, we're in the business of saving souls. And I know that the agency played a major part in saving many souls and allowing folks or putting folks in a position to strive and make a better life for them and them families. So again, I salute the organization and for the great work you continue to do.
Yeah.
30 years, being involved is a long time.
Long time. And Gary, so one of the things that the Urban Community Alliance, the rebranded organization, we that have been important for us, and we built some capacity around in at least the past 3 years, is mentoring, right? I hire staff, and they are case managers. But if you think about the definition of a case manager plays a mentoring role, a helping role. All of those roles have historically been a part of the work that we do. But for the past 3 years, we have specifically focused on mentoring, particularly mentoring for youth and young adults. And one of the important things about that is exactly what we're talking about right now. When I joined the organization, the New Haven Family Alliance organization, I was put in a role by the executive leadership, Barbara, of mentoring. Barbara was our mentor. She was our boss, but she was also our mentor. And the things that were poured into me and others under her leadership are the result of how you see us present in the community today. And I'm so proud of how I present in the community today based on that mentoring relationship, because I know that I'm able to show up in my community in a way that it makes a difference. It's impactful. To those that I interact with. It's impactful for me, and it changes my community. And so all of that didn't just happen through going back to school and getting a degree or whatever. That happened through someone physically pouring into me and helping me to understand how the work that we were holding ourselves accountable for doing really play out in a really different way. And it's not just about the work. It ends up being something of much bigger and much greater. And so yes, I so appreciate Barbara Tinney, because when I think about her, and she's still a resource to me. If I need her, I can call her and run something by her, and I'm hoping that she's proud of the work that I'm attempting to do to sustain the legacy, her legacy, because I see it as her legacy to be able to sustain the legacy and to keep the organization doing exactly what was important for us to do. 30 more years, 50 more years. I'm not going to be here, but the goal is to keep it doing what it needs to do.
Well, yeah, that's, you talk about legacy and and the shoulders that the kings and queens, the shoulders that we stand on. She's definitely one of them, and that goes to the importance of mentorship. I mean, in a lot of our lives, having that mentor. I know in my life, having those mentors that played a major part in me being able to end up on the good side of life, and being able to contribute to the community and do the things that I do because of those folks that grabbed me and put me in the right direction. So again, I'm just another plea to folks out there that aren't doing any mentoring, especially those young men and women in the fire department and the fire service. Here's a great opportunity to tap into some of these services and help some of these young folks and help them. Folks helped you. So again, thank you for that. Another thing I wanted you to speak about too is how do you become a mentor? What do you do?
So I have under the organization we have space, and we have always had this space for community involvement, because Gary, at the end of the day, there are, I don't know the number of community-based organizations in just to say New Haven, but none of us can do this work alone. So we can't do this work alone. So it's always important for us to collaborate and partner and together, because when we do this work together, we are in fact being more impactful to the community, and we're empowering the community to take care of themselves, based on the resources and the support set that we have for them, right? So mentoring and volunteerism has always been a part of our organization structure. And I want to talk a little bit about my JRB program as well in this conversation. So for mentoring, you just need to contact us and let us know you're interested in being a mentor. You can go to our website and I will share the website information with you. We can share the website information. You can go to the website. You can tap into letting us know what your interests are there, or you can contact us and let us know what your interests are. So we currently have a program. Again, we have our vet mentors. We have a program that we call NIA, that's funded by the Governor's Prevention Partnership, where we mentor and make establish relationships for New Haven Public High School students, starting with seventh graders. So we can make a match for anyone, any student from seventh grade to senior. So we have our NIA program where we make mentoring matches, and our vet mentoring program where we make mentoring matches. Our juvenile review board, the juvenile review board is a funded, which is we've been operating the JRB for over 2 decades, for about 25 years at least. And so the JRB is an initiative that's a program that's funded by the Department of Children and Families. And the goal is to divert first and second time juvenile offenders from the judicial system into a community-based process that will look at them from a strength-based, from their strengths versus kind of what got them to the table. So when they show up, we're not looking at that, Shirley broke somebody's window. We know you did, but that's not going to be our focus when we get you to the table. This process, and once you complete the JRB program, which you can get up to 6 months of case management support in this program, which is a whole nother value for these young people showing up. Once you complete the program, you have no longer any involvement with juvenile court. Everything goes away. And so, this program has really made the difference in the lives of those young people who are making a decision that got them, in trouble that they don't have to live with for the rest of their adolescent life. In suburbia world, if a young person did something, they would be brought to the police department and taken home.
Mm-hmm.
Up until the JRB program, our kids were not experiencing that. They were brought to the police department and sent to juvenile court.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids no longer have to stay in that state, stay in that be involved in that way because of the juvenile review board. And we have made, and over the years, we have seen the impact of this program in some significant ways. We have seen young people get in trouble, go through the program, complete high school, go to college, get a degree, come back to the community and give back in the way that someone gave to them when they were younger. So we are so proud to still be able to provide this resource in the community simply because we know the difference that it makes.
So you definitely have those success stories, and you know how important this the work is needed, and you talk about making that one bad decision, especially folks in our communities. We make that one bad decision that can carry your whole life and eliminate you from I'd say in the fire, police.
That's right.
Field, and just anything. We all know we all need second chances.
Exactly. So, but one part of the model, when we talk now about volunteerism at the organization, one part of, and I think this is the most valuable in part of the model. So when we get a referral, the youth and the family come, they show up, they accept services, and we immediately schedule them for what we call an accountability panel.
Mm-hmm.
The accountability panel is made up of community volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
And these individuals, it could be a teacher, it could be a parent, it could be, a police officer, a firefighter. I mean, it could be anyone in the community who has a desire to do something in the community to support young people. So this accountability panel, the commitment is for 1 year to volunteer for this program. The commitment is for 1 year, once a month, and you simply just need to live or work in New Haven. That's the only requirement. And we train you to be able to, sit at this table, because at this table, it's not to counsel kids. I mean, to be a counselor, it's not to tell them what to do, how to do it, and when. It's to listen. It's to understand what their needs are. It's to meet them where they are, and then the job, the role is the job that you do that's most important is that you based on what you've heard in that 45-minute to hour engagement. Your role is to be able to create a plan for that young person that is going to result in that young person showing up much better off than what they did when they came to the table. So to be a JRB volunteer, again, you can go to the website, or you can contact us and say, I'm interested in learning more or being a JRB volunteer. And we will also train you to do that. And we look for volunteers always, because some of the things that happens at this table is that young people in our community, first of all, when they make a bad decision, they think that everybody just threw them away. Nobody cares anymore. If the bad decision happened in school, teachers, if it happened in the community, police officers. So no, they think that it's just all done. So to be at a table with people that you don't know, who don't know you, and to have them pour into you for that 45 minutes to an hour in a way where you be like, in that youth's mind, they have no idea that people really care about them in the community, because we really do. They're our babies. They're our
Mm-hmm.
children. They're our youth. They belong to us. And so this is a place where you can truly, how we say put your money where your mouth is.
Mm-hmm.
This is a place where you can truly let young people know how much we care about them, not because they belong to us. Because let's be real, Gary. There are young people in our community. Some of them are living in families and in environments that, it's sad, but it's our reality across the country that these families are struggling. We all are struggling in some form or fashion. And these young people are having to live in these families and navigate and manage themselves in these families. And they end up making some really, really bad decisions sometimes. And we cannot throw them away. And just because they don't belong to our family system, we have to take care of everybody. And we certainly need to take care of them, because they are the future of they're our future generation.
Yeah, that's so true. I'm thinking about some of my journeys throughout my life, and coming across those young folks that sat there and opened up and told me their stories, and then you come across folks that don't understand that think that they've lived this perfect life and that they never made a mistake, and they don't have that compassion or that empathy for the situation these young folks are in. But fortunately, we have agencies and people out there that are doing some great work. And then you have these great young folks that are doing the great work, but we don't hear about the good stuff. We hear about the bad stuff.
Exactly.
And I serve on some boards that I'd say New Haven Scholarship, for example. I mean, these folks, and I went in these schools and interviewed these young folks. I was like, oh my God, they were just phenomenal in their life stories. And some of them were foreigners, but they were here for a few years. But what they went through, it just took me back. Again, and these young folks survived this pandemic. So there's so many things going on, put you in a bad place, but we need this type of intervention to, again, go into saving souls and saving lives, because it goes to that old motto, it takes a village, and it does.
That's right.
So that's, I just think one question I did have, though, was, for instance, a lot of the kids coming out of high school that need community service to go into college or how do, what do we have to are we going to the schools to let them know that these opportunities are here? You need community hours, and I can't tell you how many times I ran into folks that didn't know. They didn't have a resource, but at least they called, and I was able to send them to different places or agencies.
So here at and again, many of these things are not new things for me. These are things that we were doing under the umbrella of New Haven Family Alliance, right? So my leadership is my leadership, but the motto in what people need to be doing and how organizations need to be operating themselves, well, that was transition. So community service have always been important to us. So not only will we make ourselves available as a community service site, and New Haven Scholars, they've sent kids to us. I mean, other organizations have sent kids to us, New Haven Public Schools, but we incorporate that into our own work. Any youth that shows up here that is a New Haven Public, any student, but particularly New Haven Public School student, but any youth that comes through our JRB, our mentoring program. If we're giving an event and we have youth volunteers, all those youth get community service hours from us. So we encourage that, we give that, we invite them, we let them know that. If we're hosting, if we're facilitating a group discussion and they show up, we give them community service hours for that, because if I mean, their time is value too. And so we most certainly incorporate that into every aspect of our programming, our organization, and our partnering in the community.
Wonderful. Do you internships? Do you have internships available, or
internships we love? Because during the school year, interns come because they need the hours from us, right? But they are such a value to an organization. You got another staff person, right? So you get to train them in the overall scope of what community-based work really is, not what they're gonna get from the book. So you get to help you are able to inform them a little different. So if I'm a social work student, and that mostly, so we get social work students, criminal justice students, because the JRB program, they attract a lot of UNH criminal justice students. We get social work students from Albertus, Southern, Quinnipiac, so Fordham. So people know, they knew New Haven Family Alliance was here. So it was important to let them know that we continue to do the same work under Urban Community Alliance.
Wow.
So internships are one of the most valuable things of that we can tap into, that really helps the organization to build capacity in ways that they don't have to go out and hire somebody to do it. And so it becomes a win-win for both the student and the organization. No questions around that. And we have had some really great interns come through our doors, couple that we've hired over the years.
Wow. And that's what you talking about. We talked about, we were talking about the communicating with the younger generation, and the other day the divide, and how we really need to sit down and, sometimes we have to meet folks halfway. And as elders, we can't think that our approach is always the right approach. We got to sit back and listen. You might not agree with everything, but I think that plays a major part in success stories, or being able to get people to buy into some of the work that you're doing. So the internship, I'm sure it plays a major part in that, because you expose them to, the different challenges of different folks. We complain as people, of life challenges, but then you get that other story. Somebody will walk up to you and wake you up and make you appreciate what you have and what you could give.
That's right. Yep. And in that space, the work, the in between the internships, and yes, Gary, we're living in a time where, so look, I've been here for a minute, right? I've been doing this work for a minute. And and we're living in a time where, yes, the same things that we thought when we were in our 30s, that these old folk need to move out the way, but I mean, and I do not use that word old, not for me anyway. I am aging. I am aging, gracefully,
yes,
in season, and when I got wisdom and all of that right now. So that's how I define myself. But I get it, because I was there, right? And I don't remember us thinking that we knew everything like this generation, but we probably did think we knew everything, right? And so now we're here, or I'm here. My workforce is younger, right? And they're coming with behaviors and professionalism that I just don't understand, right? But they're also coming with Oh my goodness, they're coming with innovative
Mm,
ideas, creativity, and this future vision that I'm like,
hmm
well, okay, I mean, and so because I am a leader, an executive leader in the organization. I had to sit back and think about how I could bring balance to what I knew was important in this work, but to also, bring some of what they knew was important in this work and systems. Because look, they ain't trying to be messing around with with no paper file and
Yeah.
everything is about
Yeah, they
technology. They using this.
yeah.
I mean, but all of that makes them more efficient, right?
hmm
It truly makes them more efficient when you don't have to open the drawer to pull out a file. You just pull it from the computer, or you understand and use. Wait, we all walking around here with watches and iPhones and the upgraded technology. Now ask me how much I use all this technology that I got, because I don't know how to use it. But they do, and they
They do.
use it to their benefit.
hmm
So that's one aspect of who they are that we need to value and embrace.
hmm
But the other is that they have something to say.
hmm
Just like I had something to say and I wanted someone to listen, they have something to say. We need to listen more. We truly need to sit back and listen more. We don't have to agree with everything, but in those places that we disagree, potentially because maybe we don't understand the big picture that they're seeing, we need to spend the time to get a little closer, particularly when they come passionate about their view. And trust me, and if they're passionate about something, we see it.
hmm
Young people have been the leaders in community activism since Martin Luther King,
hmm
right? And they have. I mean, and so I don't know how we forget the role that they played in history, and today not embrace who they are and who they are going to be.
hmm
Because if we don't embrace it, it's not going to stop them. And they will tell you, if you have a conversation with them,
hmm
we need you too.
hmm
They would tell us that they need us.
hmm
They need us to help them to understand the history, to be able to move forward in the future. I am so excited when I have conversations with youth and young adults, because you said it a little earlier. You walk away saying, "Wow,
hmm
I'm feeling good about leaving the future to these guys."
hmm
But what we see on the news and who we
hmm
see them to be in our communities does not allow us to really understand who we have in our community in the form of young people and our future leaders.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
all we see is the negativity.
yeah, and that's and we talk about the media and people covering things. That's why I thank Tom, Harry, because this stuff that we're talking about, this is important stuff. This is stuff that a lot of folks don't hear about. I would love to see coverage of um, 200 students receiving scholarships. I would love to see them covering a journey of one of your interns going out there doing this great work, meeting people where they are, and saving souls. So again, this brings some attention to what we want to see. We want to talk about the good stuff too. but we can't ignore the bad stuff, and we have to we have to become those interveners, those folks that intervene and listen to what these folks and some of the younger generation and make necessary changes to succeed. And I was looking at the website earlier, and I'm looking at the programs, and I started thinking, I'm like, wow. I was doing the interviews for the New Haven Scholarship Fund, and this young man came in. I talked to him for about 15 minutes. And I had to wait for him to leave. But after he left, I jumped up and hit the table. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, things like that move you, that bring you back when you're feeling discouraged with that. And then you say, wow.
That's right.
This young ladies, they're gonna do something. They're gonna make some necessary changes in our community. So
that's right.
Again, that's why these again, going to those experiences through my life, I just those are those rewards that you get.
But but guys, we have to be, we can't play around with it. We have to pour into them in the same way that people poured into us, and I'm sorry, but I wouldn't be here today if there wasn't a whole lot of pouring into me, and wait a minute, and so and whether that was a commitment from my community or those that I was blessed to have, take care of me. And it wasn't always family. It was not always family. There were teachers and there were police officers and there were, neighbors, the next door neighbor, and so we have to be intentional and we have to do more of that. But most importantly, we should just spend some time talking to a young person, and you'll be quietly surprised. You'll be very surprised at what that conversation might feel like for you.
Yeah, most definitely. And another question, I just wanted to make sure everybody knew where you guys are located too.
Yes. So we are Urban Community Alliance. We're located at 446A Blake Street in New Haven, and we are on the second floor. So that's where we're located. Our phone number is 203-786-5970. And the website, let me put my card here.
Yeah, I have your card right in front of me. It's urbancommunityalliance.org. Is that correct?
Yep. So please go to the website. We are in the process of updating the website, but the most important content for the website is there. You can also make donations on the website. We are very proud of the website. We launched the website about 5 years ago, and so we go in periodically and update it, and that's what we're doing now. But we are very proud of the website and the content on the website. Yes. No,
go ahead. I think we probably have about 6 more minutes, so we can go over a couple more things. I'm just checking.
No, I was going to say I encourage anyone or invite anyone who wants to learn more, volunteer, be a mentor. We have no problem for you to stop by and say hello and learn more about what we do. Please contact us. And we are always looking for individuals in the community with commitments to children, youth, families, young adults to come and join us in our work. And I thank you for your invitation this morning to have this conversation.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. I mean, again, this is so informative, and you wouldn't be surprised, but so many folks aren't aware of the resources that are out there, especially if they're not in certain networks. And we some of us are in these different silos. We march alone, but it's important for us to get the word out of what's available, what opportunities are out there, because these are the things that make you a better person and make you a better resource to the community. But we got to know about them. I was going through your website too, and I thought I noticed something that you have some type of workshops or forums with the females. I think it was happening at the Q House or.
So we call it the Girl Circle. We tried it. So one of the things that we've tried to build some capacity around within the past couple of years is looking more at how we can support women and girls. So we
Mhm.
currently have a girls circle in partnership with the Stetson Library.
Okay,
So
great.
it's in partnership with the Stetson Library, and we support on Saturdays we do a group for young girls, and on I believe Wednesdays we do a group for older teens. And
Mm.
so yes, and that is open. That group process is still open. And the contactor, the young woman to contact is Keisha. So don't make me say her last name. But yeah, but yes, we are operating that group. We have that group available as well.
Wow. And then again, like you said, I looked at the website, and I saw that, and I was like, see, that's. I would love to be in the room to listen. You know, some of the things that these young folks have to
Yeah.
say. And,
Yeah.
yeah, they're. I fortunately I sit on the board with a couple of younger folks, and I encourage other folks that have these organizations that embrace some of these young folks and bring them on the board to so you can have that different perspective and that knowledge.
That's right. That's right. I mean, and women and girls, I mean, that's something that we don't provide a lot of resources in the communities for women and girls, but that's an area that we intentionally try to provide some support and services, because when our young girls out there and our women, we need support as well. And
Yeah.
so yes.
Yep. Yep, they definitely, again, going back to those the mentors, folks that talk to people they trust and feel comfortable and open up to, give them real, and that takes trust. So
Yes, it does.
and that plays a major part in folks, buying into what you're offering. So for the future, I would say for your next 5 priorities as far as the agency, what would you like to see?
So one of the things that for future, I'd like to see sustainability number one, right? Because if we're not here, then we can't continue to support in the way that we have historically been doing over the past 3 decades. So sustainability, but like most community-based organizations and nonprofits, sustainability can be really challenging, because how do we keep ourselves alive? So we're looking to be able to understand more about how we bring diversity in our funding sources, right? And so it's not enough just to write a grant, get the grant any longer, because depending on the flow of the state, those grant opportunities may be there or may not be there. And to really look at ways like, how we can get, even though you don't want to put yourself in the process of charging individuals for services, but there are some alternatives for you to get a fee for service for some of the work that we do in the community-based organizations. To be able to share with more people out there who have resources to share with us, to be able to let them know we're here and the great work that we're doing here and how they can support. So in all of these things result in basically, with the exception of the grant support, because grant support is most often specific, but any revenue or any funding that we get that's not designated for something specific, we could use we call them unrestricted dollars. These dollars help us to do more and within our current programming, and they also help us to expand the work that we do in the community. Because why there's no, these are dollars that we can use as we see fit. So I like to see sustainability and with some real thinking around how we diversify our funding sources and bring people in and bring revenue in very differently. I would also like to see us build greater capacity in the space of youth and young adults around mentoring, violence prevention, intervention, because we see, currently we do have some funding that we are able to be a partner with Project Longevity. So we are involved in really trying to engage some of our young people around reducing violence in the community and just providing interventions and supports that help that. So I like to see us build capacity, definitely, or greater capacity around supporting youth and young adults. So some of the reasons that we talked about align with how important it is to have the youth voice, and how important it is to pour into them and provide what they need, so that in the future we won't be looking at a lot of these things. So I'd like to see the organization do that over the years. And I think that, I'm still hopeful that community-based organizations such as mine will stop being so siloed, partner more with each other, understand that we don't have to love each other, but that we most certainly should be able to work together in a way where we partner and help and be a greater resource to the community. I'm not giving up on that, Gary. It's frustrating, and sometimes, because I've been here for so long, sometimes I'm like, it's never going to happen in the way that we need it to happen, but I'm hopeful that we can get there. And so, and that's just, and I'm willing, there may be 2 or 3 other organizations willing, and that's fine. We'll start where we can, but we have to do more around partnering and working with each other in order to be the impact on our community, or to see the results that I think many of us want to see in our community, right?
Yep.
And so I'm hopeful about that. And the last thing that I'd like to see is that because in 7 years, 6 years now, it's now 6, when I retire, I'd like to leave this organization in the same way that Robert Tinney retired from New Haven Family Alliance, right? Passing the torch to someone who has the commitment, the passion, the purpose, the accountability, the integrity to do what needs to be done in what you say, saving souls.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. I mean, you just hit something we talked about, collaborating and partnering with different agencies. We just have to commit to the mission and not worry about the side stuff, and move forward and making sure that we're making an impact on our community. And because we have the resources here, New Haven, and we know, everybody knows everybody, and
that's right.
We're trying to do the same. We're trying to do this. We're trying to save souls. So
that's
if we can collaborate, we'll be more effective, and I hopefully we see that happening in a larger capacity. But that being said, I want to thank you. This was very informative. I've learned so much, and I just thank you for the work that you guys do, and appreciate you. And in closing, I think we got about 20 seconds left. Again, thank Tom Ficklin and
yes, thanks, Tom.
And again, folks, if you have any questions, please stop by and speak to the folks over there at the Urban Community Alliance. They're doing great work, and we all need to come together and make a difference in the lives of others. So thank you again.
And thank you.
I appreciate it. And I tell Barbara, I'm laughing because every time Barbara talks, she uses her hand so I'm watching you. And
I'm another rhythm for y'all to listen. I'm never quitting on my mission. I'ma roll with what I'm giving. Got some ambition, this new edition, filling positions. Looking at the void in myself and feeling what's missing. Better watch the way you going, better go in the right direction. In the moment you stressing, but you gon' be counting blessings. And I know that for certain. Keep on working, open curtains, haters swerving, cause they ain't ready for your final version. I'm never gonna give up. Fall down, I just gotta get up, yeah. Cause this is my road. Let's get action.
You're listening to the Tom Ficklin Show on WNHHLP 103.5 FM. Your home for